Hi everybody. This is 5 minutes in a series that I'm starting, and the title of the series is How I Left Bulimia Behind. Excuse me, I am going to refer to some notes because there's some things that are important I want to say and I don't want to forget them. The title is very important because it shows that you are separate from the bulimia. It's like a stressful job or a destructive relationship. It's something that you can leave behind. You can just walk away. It's not part of you. And I think that's really important to remember, whatever stage you are at in your decisions to leave bulimia behind. And it may be at a very, very early stage. One of the reasons I wanted to talk about this is that there's lots of experiences out there about anorexia. And I think that although they're very helpful, I think that there are some points at which bulimia is different. And I feel that there needs to be more discussion about bulimia and things like binge eating disorder as well. It's ridiculous, but I always felt that my choice of eating disorder was the choice of a failure. That somehow if you had anorexia, you were showing control, you were taking control of your life. Whereas if you your disorder is to eat to excess and then make yourself vomit or take laxatives to make yourself have diarrhea, that's no way of making that look kind of ascetic and kind of in control. You know, people, when you tell them, they're quite often quite shocked and quite disgusted. But for me, though, in the end, I came to a deal with myself about the bulimia that I was suffering from. And the deal I made with myself was that I would no longer binge eat and vomit. And in return, because it was a deal, in return, I would accept myself for whatever weight I settled at, even if it was much heavier than I wanted. And that's important because people with bulimia, a lot of us, are very scared about getting very, very big if we don't continue with the bulimia. I was very, very scared, but it got to the point where I knew I had to move forwards. I had bulimia for about 7 years, and for the first 4 years it was extreme. I was vomiting several times every day. I was very skinny. I can remember trying on a size 10 dress in a shop and saying to the assistant, "Oh, maybe I need a bigger size," and her saying, no, you're really slim." And, you know, that was amazing for somebody who'd been fat all their lives to be told, "You're really slim." And that's what I wanted. I really wanted to be slim and to wear skinny little dresses. And that's one of the factors that pushes us forwards into bulimia. And, you know, it's one of the factors that makes us more likely to go down that route. Apparently, though, a risk factor in bulimia is having genes that predispose towards a heavier physique. Did you know that? And for years, children and teenagers, you grow up with a body ideal that is very different from how you are. It's totally different. So when you get to a certain age, you start dieting. I started at 11 when a doctor put me on a diet. But I started for myself in that it was my decision when I was 15. And at first it was great. The weight fell off and suddenly I felt energized, I felt skinny and beautiful. But unfortunately, it doesn't carry on like that. Lots of people then get onto a dieting roundabout where you lose weight, you put it back on again, then you lose weight again, and then you put a bit more back on again, and it goes round and round and round and so on. If you're a bulimic, this often starts at this point because you're doing some unforgiving diet and you weaken and you have, say, a chocolate digestive, then another and another and another, and then all the packet. And then you feel like you've abused yourself and you feel shame and your self-worth really hits the floor. And then you think, well, just once, I could maybe be sick. And so it starts. Soon you're doing it all the time. You're so hungry for food, but also massively for love, for the praise of others, and the feeling that you are worthwhile. Well, I'm here to say that you can leave all of that behind. It's not easy, but I did it. And I can't say how others did it. So this is just my own story with a few tips added. Please don't use this instead of getting the treatment if you can. I know it's difficult at the moment. There are several different factors that led me to making this deal with myself that I would stop binging and vomiting. And these are some of the factors that led to me making that deal. 1, and this is a fact, dieting does not work. In reducing your food intake drastically, your metabolism drops because your body kind of thinks, well, they're in a famine, so we need to keep them going with less calories. And so when you stop dieting, your body doesn't know that you've been dieting, you've stopped. And so it actually primes itself to put on more weight because who knows, there might be another famine coming along. So however careful you are, the weight starts to come on again. Number 2, factor 2, if you learn a way of eating normally, and that is including all treats, meals and off-the-cuff indulgences, your weight will stabilise. It will probably be at a level higher than you want, but it will not carry on increasing out of your control. Now, if you look at me, my set point, I think, is about 11.5 stone. At the moment, I'm 11.75 stone. You can see I'm got a little tummy there. And I'm a bit uncomfortable with that. But I'm 66 and I've hovered around 11.5 stone since I was 20. Yes, I put on weight when I was pregnant. Yes, when I split up with someone that caused me a great deal of unhappiness, I lost about 3 stone, not trying at all. I have a feeling that sometimes you lose weight when you're just not concerned about food, and that can be for good reasons or bad reasons. But generally, I've hovered around 11.5 stone for nearly 50 years. Ups and downs, yes, but I've kept to my deal. I have not dieted since I made the deal with myself. I realised, this is number 3, by the way, I realised in my mid-20s, I realised that I might not meet Mr. Right. I liked working in the theatre, I was a theatre manager, but it led to many temporary relationships because people come for a season, for a few months, and then they move on to another job. So I decided to change course and to go to university with a view to possibly becoming a journalist. In other words, I started thinking about the life I wanted that was within my control, and I determined to put myself first. So, number 4, I started to think that life is there to be lived now. It's no good waiting till you've lost a stone, or have a first-class degree, or don't have any spots. Life is a patchwork of good things and less welcome things. Okay, so my figure is more generous than I want. I get aches and pains nowadays, but I have a lovely husband, lovely kids and kids-in-law, pets that I love, and I'm learning a challenging new skill, that of solution-focused therapy. Why focus on the dried up bramble branch with no fruit, when all around it are full, juicy, bright, sweet blackberries? You get my drift. So I'm going to do a series of talks about how I beat bulimia. And next time I'll be talking about how to visualize a day without an eating disorder. So I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care, and remember, you are special. You're really special. Thank you. Bye-bye.